Okay, good morning. It is Monday, January the 15th. Abigail Klutz here. I'm from Olathe, Kansas. If some of you are brand new this morning, welcome aboard. These are our Monday mindset motivation calls. I love seeing faces. It helps me out so much. So if you're in a place where you can show your face, and just be nodding your head and smiling. If you've ever led a Zoom call, I mean, it makes a world of difference. It's horrible when you're trying to lead a Zoom call and everybody has on their cameras and you are literally just watching your face talking to yourself. So now, if you are in a place where you cannot show your face, like I know Anna Justice in Canada, checked with her this morning, like she's got her hair in foils out the wazoo, so it's okay for her to not turn on her screen. I don't think it's scarier than my face. Had sinus surgery a couple weeks ago. Got good makeup on today though. So I'm really excited about today. I love Monday Mindset. So many of you inspire me. Your posts inspire me. I've seen so many of you just pick up your social media and dive in the last 6 months. A lot of you put down just amazing hustler quotes that as I'm looking through, I'm seeing. So today, like my inspiration, okay, I want to share with you a thought that is absolutely like igniting me, and I can just feel the passion stirring back up in me. And I'll be honest with you, I'll be dead honest with you. I had hit a cold place, especially leading into the holidays, and which, as Mitch Newman would say, as to be expected. This was the first Christmas that was very difficult for me. It was my first Christmas as a single mom. And so, of course, all my energy, my attitude, my mindset was just down. And, I was just, it affected my business and it affected the way that I showed up with people. And I remember I just kept trying to do activity, and I had a big mixer in Kansas City the week before Christmas, right after coming off the flu. And I even had to do some almost like damage control calls with people when they left because they felt my struggle. And of course, all of them accepted me where I was at and grew with me through it. And I had so many amazing teammates that picked up the energy when I couldn't at that time. But that time really led me to a couple discoveries, and I want to share that with you. One is I booked a trip to New York. It was 2 days before Christmas because I found out my daughter was going to be leaving on Christmas Day. So I thought to myself, you know what? I've worked too hard on my mindset and myself not to do this because I absolutely knew if I stayed here, I would be a mess. And I wanted to take action. I wanted to take action over my mindset. And I wanted to write my own story about what was going to happen because I knew if I didn't do something drastic, the story would play out exactly the way that I knew it would. Okay. And so that's valuable right there. Number one, I'm going to translate this to your business. I want you to look at your business in the last month, 2, or 3. What are you doing? What are you doing on a daily basis? If you continued what you're doing on a daily basis, the story will continue to play out exactly as it should. I brought Mitch Newman on here a couple weeks ago, giving a Zoom on how to disrupt behaviors. If you want your business to be in a different place, you have got to identify you don't like where it's at, and the behaviors you're doing every day must stop. You must make a change. You must shake it up. And so I want you to be honest. Do you like the speed and the rate at which you're going? Are you enjoying the process? Do you wake up and feel blah? You know, if you do, that will be the story that continues. I spent 2 weeks leading up to Christmas, blah. And that story would definitely continue on Christmas Day as my daughter left, had I not disrupted my world. I knew it would be an investment in money, but it was important to me to practice change and practice taking action and practice putting something in place that would disrupt the story of me laying in bed and being sad. I needed to disrupt it. So I freaking booked 2 plane tickets. I said, Mom, we're going to New York. I booked us a Hello Dolly play, and I got out there and had one of the most magical times of my life, disrupted the story. And one of the things that I discovered when I was there, and I want you to write this down. What is it that's motivating you? Okay, because oftentimes in our industry, we do what's called lifestyle attraction, okay? Lifestyle marketing. And there's a lot of people I'm looking at that are jet setting around, having amazing life experiences, unbelievable stuff. And I don't judge that. And good on them. But what I realized in New York was, for me, it is not about material. And I thought maybe it was a little bit about that, because I've watched people buy things, and the story in my head was, oh, I can't wait for the day where I can just walk into Gucci and buy that. Or I can't wait for the day when I can just go to New York and buy whatever I want from Chanel. And Selena Trabick was with me there this summer. And there was a pair of sunglasses that I wanted from Chanel, but I bought something else from Gucci, and I knew I wasn't at a place to do that. So I went there and I bought those sunglasses that I had stared at from the summer. And I bought a couple other things from the stores, things that I remember being there before thinking, if only I could. And I even posted all the shopping I did on my IG. You know, it was fun. Maybe it attracted some people. But I'll tell you what, not one bit of it filled me up. Not one bit of it made me happy. Not one bit of it brought me contentment. Sometimes when you get what you thought you wanted and it does nothing for you, you realize the story and the voices that are in your head driving you. And I think that's the journey towards authenticity. We got to stop looking at what other people have or what they're doing and thinking, if only. Because I think over break, I really dug in there and I thought, you know, what is it that makes me content? What is it that makes me happy? I know that I'm going to be the exact same way as Nate Justice. I have been wanting a level 10 for so long. A lot of you want a level 6. But the minute I hit that 10, I'm going to celebrate it. And I know me, it will be nothing. It won't be the contentment and the story in my mind that I said would make me happy. It won't. I know what makes me happy. I know what makes me happy. What makes me happy is feeling like I have a great relationship with God, that I am praying, that I am getting my guidance from Him, that I'm seeking Him throughout the entire day, and I feel whole inside. I feel complete with Him. That's one thing. The other thing that I know makes me happy, because I was looking back on my life, what are the times that I felt happy, is the grind, the practice, the journey. It's working hard. It's hustling. That makes me so happy. I love working hard. And I love playing in the game after so much hard work has been put in. I love being consistent. I love showing up sick when everybody else won't. I was thinking back to college basketball. I loved when girls said, they didn't feel like they could show up to practice because they were up all night studying, they have a cold. I was too, and I loved the feeling that I was going to be there. I did. I love working hard. I love being eccentric and being able to grit my teeth and just do it. And that's what this business is. It's knowing what you want. And it may not be rank. It may not be money. It may not be getting up on a stage. But you've got to identify what in this realm makes you happy, what fulfills your heart. Is that, breaking someone else out of their 60-hour-a-week nursing job? Every time I see Selena post a picture of her kids on the weekend and she's out there sports stuff, like it like lights me up inside, because I remember those conversations of her dreaming to get out of there. Like, that makes me happy. Yeah, ketones make me happy. People's transformations. I got a text this morning from a customer who's now down 20 pounds, who can't even walk because she's so heavy right now. And she's been trying for 3 years. Like, yeah, that makes me happy. Makes me happy. So if you can't find happiness and you can't identify the gratitude that you can bring to the table in this business, motivation is secondary. You get that, right? You're not getting on this call to get motivated today. If you find what you love about this and you approach it with gratitude and you work hard, making runs is what feels motivating. And that's the second point I want to bring to you today. This is another just insight I had. Okay? I remember, I always bring it back to sports analogies, but I remember playing basketball. You know what basketball is about? It's about the team during those 4 quarters that has the most runs. If you have more runs, and that literally, and if you've ever watched it, it's absolutely amazing. And I remember this. Once we picked up that momentum, once we started scoring, it's like every shot started going in. Or if you've been on the opposite end and you're playing defense and the other team goes on a run, it's like, oh my gosh, every 3-point shot is going in. Everybody's getting a drive to the lane. I never understood runs, but what I figured out was the team with the most runs, and then the team who had the ability to cut the other team's runs down shorter was the one that won. Now, if you want to do 1 promoter a month and break an MVP once a month, because you have identified that this is just going to be a literal side business and that you really enjoy the community, you enjoy the product, and you're not in it, that's fine. I don't want to isolate you today. But most people that I get on a Zoom call and talk to, they want to leave their jobs. They want to do this full time. They want to make an extra 10, 20, 30,000 a month because you can in this industry. Okay, if that's you today, I'm speaking to you. You chuck the DMOs, chuck the 3 contacts a day, chuck the 5 contacts a day. When I think about it, that ain't what I did. That wasn't the run I had. That wasn't the run Lori Wyndham had over Labor Day. That wasn't the run we see people having. They don't say, I made my 3 contacts today. That's a maintenance program. And anybody who's been successful in this industry, you have to be consistent every day, but you got to have a run. You got to make a run, because momentum and motivation and energy come all in one. So if you don't create energy and you don't create incredible activity that will put points on the board, you won't be motivated, because it gets super isolating and you'll become disillusioned quickly if you ain't scoring. And some of you have got to really assess like what has been happening in your business. You got to make some drastic changes. You got to put yourself in some uncomfortable places. And I love that. I love the uncomfort. The other thing, number 3, that we talked about last night on a COC call was finding running mates. Okay. The same concept applies, by the way, to sometimes card playing or poker, right? How is it that when someone gets hot in their poker hand, that it's like they can't lose, right? Like it's that momentum, it's the energy, and it will attract people to you once you go on a run. It's like you can't miss, all right? But people always have teammates. I remember over Christmas break, me and my brother were playing pitch together, and my uncle and dad were killing us. They had momentum. It's like they couldn't draw the wrong card. And I just looked at Zach, my brother, and I said, we got to bid to win. We got to bid to win. We cannot give them another bid. I said, I don't care if you have good hand or not. We got to bid. We got to take a risk, and we got to bid every time. And we start bidding. We don't let them get the bid. And all of a sudden the tables turn and we make a comeback and we win. And it just made me think this is exactly like anything in life. You have to shoot more. You have to take a risk. You got to get out there. You got to bid to win. If you're going to close down your Prove It business after making 3 contacts a day and say, oh, good work, that's exactly what you're going to get. Okay. I have chucked okay, I did my 5 contacts. I don't want consistency. I really don't. I don't want a consistent DMO. I want a mess, because I just want to sprint, and there will be times where I can, take that break, and I will take consistent action every day of my life, but I want to run. It's January 2018 and I want to run. So there is no number for me. I just want to bring in a lot of people, a lot of customers, a lot of promoters. I want to break a lot of MVPs. I want to run people to All-Star. I want new 6s. That's what I want. I want to run. I want to sprint. And you need running mates. You need people who will run with you. I remember during a cold spell, I shared this last night. I went to Selena. I needed someone to see me. I needed someone to know my action and activity. And I went to her and I said, you know what? First one to sign in 5 promoters, because I wanted to run All-Star. I needed a new goal. I needed to challenge myself. I needed to get off my butt. I said, first one to sign in 5 new promoters gets $400. Will you pay me that? Will you pay me $400 if I get there first, and I'll pay you $400 if you get there first? I just needed someone to see me, someone to kind of compete with a little bit and run with. How many of you feel isolated? Like you're sitting at home and, you just, find a running mate, reach out, challenge yourself, put some goals in front of yourself. Because, when you show up to a ball game, you've got someone to compete with, you've got somebody that you've got to play your heart out. You've got to win. Everybody needs a running mate. Everybody needs to be, accountable to someone, because it's so easy to sit at home and nobody sees what you're doing. And then you're nowhere in 90 days because you're not accountable. And that's the thing about this business, guys, is you got to show up. And you got to be known, and everybody wants to be seen. Here's the most important thing I can give you today. about being seen, showing up, and having running mates. This was actually, it's called markmanson.net. It was entrepreneurial, and he wrote 33 things I wish I would have known starting my own business. And he said, surround yourself with other entrepreneurs. I don't care if you came in to prove it yesterday. If this is what you want, you have to surround yourself with other people who want the same thing and who are 3 levels ahead of you. Like I always think about the Kentucky Derby. I always think about how I'm that racehorse, and I run fastest when I see someone out in front of me. And it's one of the reasons why I show up to events, is to see other people out in front of me. You have to have that. Success leaves clues. It's why we go to events and we really get personal with each other. These are Zoom training calls. You're not talking back to me. You're not getting to ask me all the questions that you want to ask. Like, you don't even know what you don't know in your business, sitting there by yourself at your home office. You want to do this, you've got to get yourself in the environment. It's that important. So this says, if all your friends are bored desk jockeys, then there will be an unconscious social pressure for you to continue as a bored desk jockey. They will not understand your aspirations, or even worse, they may resent them. Find other people who are in a similar position as you and push and motivate one another. We are all individuals until we come together as a group at an event, face to face, relationally. You work this business alone. It's like church. There's a reason that we're called to do corporate worship and to show up together on Sundays. 6 days on my own is good enough for me to start failing and making some mistakes. All right. We got to come together at events. We got to serve each other. We got to love on each other. We got to find out what each other's doing in their business. We got to find out the things we didn't even know we needed to know. And we got to be a part of our culture, our environment, our passion, because the world is too hard on network marketers. I'm not calling it community-based marketing right now, because I'm so proud to be a network marketer. I really am. That's what I am. I network with people. I have a product that I absolutely love, and my life is about relationships and inspiring people to take inspired action and join something that I believe in as an industry. And I think this company is the best company out there with the most innovative technology coming out right now. And I'm super proud of the job I do every day. And if you don't have that belief and that confidence, lean on me. Show up to a Prove It event and lean on your team that does. All right. If you're brand new in this business, just get there. And if you're worried about finances, like, I would rather see, here's the difference. Some people will tell me, I don't have the money. And I'll say, how much do you need? And they don't respond. They don't want it. They don't want it. Other people will say, I don't have the money. And I'll say, how much do you need? And they'll go price a plane ticket, they'll go price a hotel room, they'll go price the Epic tickets, and they'll tell me exactly what they need. And then I get to come in and help as a coach find a way. Because where there's a will, there's a way. I want people who want to sprint. I want people who want to run hard, because I think that's fun, and that's where I get motivated. That's where I get momentum. And so I just wanted to share some of those things that were on my mind and heart today. There is one person on here that I just want to, we're at 9:26, and I just want to get a little bit of insight from him, because he's been making a run, and he hit All-Star, and I see him everywhere. He's present. He's consistent. He shows up. So, Brett Coffee, are you on this morning? I hope he shows up after I just said he shows up.
I'm on here, but I'm on my iPad and the camera's not working.
Oh, all right. Okay, I see you, Brett. I see your little thing.
My cartoon.
So, Brett, just share with us where, constant stream of motivation. I see you every day out there hustling. How are you doing it day in and day out? I feel like you've been on a sprint. Share with us what that feels like and how you've stayed focused.
Oh man, part of that is being, plugged into the team, plugged into Sarah, Nate, Robin, connecting with Brian, connecting with you. If you have people that are like-minded and you're surrounded by them, it creates expansion, and then other people that you follow that have a game far beyond yours. I follow Grant Cardone exclusively because I've got connected with him. It's really expanded my base of people. And he did a Zoom the other day, and I got to be a host on it, a guest on it. I got a little shout out. And because of it, it has just exploded everything for me. I'm sitting here packing up 10 days as we speak to get them out all over the place. Australia, Toronto, some countries that we're not even in yet. And just that association, the power of showing up and showing up consistently makes all the difference in the world. If you're on top of your game in that sense, follow people that make you raise your game, and that's going to create all kinds of momentum for yourself. If you're following people that bring you down a level, in sports, and you would relate to this, Abigail, for sure, you always wanted to compete against the best to raise your game, not somebody that you could win for the sake of winning. It doesn't raise your game, it actually drops your game.
Yep.
So I don't know if that helps.
Absolutely. I love it. And I gotta tell you, Brett, when you first came in, I'm just being really authentic because I'm an idiot sometimes. I saw you just constantly following Grant Cardone, and I judged, and I just
Right.
thought, wow, if you just put in the amount of time, I'm so embarrassed to say this, but I just thought, if you just put in the amount of time to prove it that you are in watching Grant Cardone, then your business would explode. And I'm eating those words today in front of everyone because just over the last week, the more I've dug in with other people on fire just in the industry and listened to them, the more action that I've taken, because it's up to me to motivate myself, and you found someone who motivated you. And I think the other important thing is, and I'm going to leave everyone with this action item today, okay? The other really important thing about our industry is to not show up every day, I'll prove it in ketones. If you want to do that, you're going to isolate your audience, okay? I have thought about what are 3 other hobbies or passions I have in 2018 that I can show up with and attract more people to me because they feel my love and energy, because that is attraction. Brett is attracting hustlers because he's showing up with Grant Cardone, who writes the book on hustling. So what is he going to attract to him? So think about it. Think about what you love, because if you're in love with it, then other people will feel that passion and energy, and people just want to be around energy and passion and positivity. So if, truly you're excited about it. So, 3 things I'm thinking about is I love cooking. I stopped doing it when I launched this company. I haven't cooked in probably 3 or 4 years. I really hadn't. So I got a meal service that delivers me ingredients, and 2 days a week I'm going to cook, and I'm going to share that with an audience because people like that cooking. The other thing that I love is truly weightlifting. And somewhere down the line, I thought if I showed stuff of me weightlifting and kind of in like a figure girl type category, I would isolate my audience and be unattainable. That is complete bogusness, because you're more likely to have success by really dialing in on a group of people that build trust with you and feel like they can relate with you in specific areas than you are trying to cast your net really wide to everyone. So, and then the other thing is I love tea, and people who love tea are fanatics. So I'm going to get back to posting some of the gourmet tea stuff. Like, I mean, what else is there to you? And it took me a while to come up with that stuff because I've been so completely, neurotic about prove it. But here's the thing. By bringing back these passions in my life and these hobbies, I'm creating more happiness. I'm creating more energy. I'm creating more positivity. And that focus will all feed back into my business. You understand that? Brett, do you want to add anything now that I exposed my thoughts to you?
That's funny about the whole Cardone thing. When I originally got into Prove It 3 months ago, I told Sarah that I really didn't want to get going. I was fading out of another company, didn't want to really start till January. So to hear you say that and you're not the first person that's told me, oh my God, you're the biggest Cardone groupie there is. And it's just interesting when you plug into somebody and you show up in their world, the benefits that come back to you. And Grant's on the product, his pilot's on the product. One of his top sales guys is a new promoter. Somebody else that Grant's connected to, gentleman by the name of Brad Lee. His family is on the product now. So it's that whole theory of showing up in people's lives and delivering to them without the expectation of receiving back. And I promote Grant 24/7, and it's come back tenfold for me. And it's just going to expand from there. Abigail, you should get your butt down to the Growth Con in Vegas. Brian James is thinking about coming down, and I'll literally be able to put him in front of 1,000 people because I'm so well known in that community. And that's one of my goals. So if you want to talk about that, I could probably get that set up for you because I have some contacts in that office.
Awesome. Look at that. Hey, Brett, how many months did you just show up with no expectation of getting that shout out from Grant Cardone? I saw that. How many months did you just show up and bring him value before you ever got anything back?
Probably 18 months.
Yeah. And there's one pop for you. It's going to change your world. So awesome. I'm proud of you. I think you're amazing. I'm so excited about the things that are coming for you. And I have a new perspective. Number one, that I know nothing, and that I need to keep plugging in and learning every day. So, guys, thank you so much for joining this morning. I think an action item that we could all do today, we could write on our wall people write goals for 2018. What are 3 things that if you implemented back into your life, that white space in the day would bring you energy, would bring you, some creativity, write your top 3 things that you love, and that may be a niche audience. And that's, something we always talk about. Social media posting, for every, 7 posts, 1 is an awesome prove it post. But what are those other posts going to be that you love, bring you positive energy, and attract those who also love it to you? So let's do hashtag my 3 favorites and just write them out. And tag me, tag, some of your accountability or running partners so we can learn about each other just a little bit more. Like, who knew I liked cooking? Like if you knew me, you would not think that. So anyway, I'd love to see that today just to get to know all of you better. And don't forget that tonight we have the State of Play call. Tuesday night, we have our Prove It review. It's keto clarity, I think is what they're calling it now. Then Wednesday, I put it out in the pulse. Make sure your pulses are on. On Wednesday, we will have our 11 Central Time Zoom call, and that's going to be with the big tribe. So I didn't know what else to call it. So in your pulses, Monday is medium tribe. Wednesday's big tribe with Brian James and other pro champs. And then Thursday, guys, is your small tribes. And that's the most important tribe that you have. Save that 11 Central Time spot. Keep it open. And even if you only have 3 people on your team, lead that. You guys get together and you lead. If you need ideas on how to lead or what a topic is, you can discuss, maybe go through your 3 things and what you're going to share and show up with. And then Friday, I'm not sure about the COC profile, but I'll pulse it out if we're having it, and then plug in on Saturday to the training calls. And we're putting more focus on that. We're hearing from the best in the company, Prove It training, and that will be in your pulse. So keep close to your pulse. That's where everything is coming out. Have an awesome week and create your momentum through your sprints. All right. See you soon.